My name is Alison Griffiths. I make candles. I specifically make the ones that are for headache sensitive people or people who are sun sensitive. The reason I do that is because I myself get migraines. I've had issues with candles and fragrances in the past, so I decided to make my own candles. And I've been making candles for probably around 5 years. I was trying to think back just about how far that was. I've only really been selling them for about a year. I find all my scents by mixing different fragrance oils together. I always list all the different elements on my candles that I combine to come up with unique scents. Most of these are custom blends, so you can't really find them anywhere else, and I take a lot of pride in what I do. I have a process that I follow for each and every individual candle. Each one has a different level of fragrance, is combined at a different temperature. They all are 100% soy wax though. They all have the same level of quality and fragrance oil, making sure there's nothing with known or suspected carcinogens or mutagens. There's no phthalates. There's no endocrine disruptors. It's all perfectly healthy for anybody to consume and pet friendly. For me, it was like I was mentioning earlier with headaches. It's so hard to find candles that you can enjoy without triggering migraine. I was one of those people I'd walk right by and I would just get an instant migraine. So it's so upsetting because I love all their smells. I can't have them in my home. So I started making my own so that I can enjoy them on my own. A bunch of my friends who also get headaches were like, "Could you make me some of those?" For a few years, I would just make them for them as presents. And they've been encouraging me for so long to make this a thing that there'd be so many other people out there who want to enjoy fragrance, but they can't. So I decided to do a whole bunch of research and I went into candle making. It's really just as simple as that. I knew that there was a need for it because I had a need for it. I knew I could help make other people's lives better, silly as it might sound, through scent. A lot of my scents are meant to evoke memories of things or just be very pleasing in some kind of way to make you happy or feel better. It's a big leap to open everything up here. I was originally making candles in my 100 square foot spare room. The boxes and boxes of supplies slowly spread throughout my entire house. It was like an invasive species in my home. There was a lot of research involved, about 6 to 8 months of making sure that all the fragrance oils would be up to the right standard that I was expecting and everything. I've only found one company in the entire country out in California that actually does that. I went through multiple types of wicks, multiple containers, you name it. It took forever to test everything. And on top of that, when I finally got things going and I got my space here and we started to pick up off the ground, I was unfortunately hit by a car while I was on my bike. About 3 months into the adventure, everything was hit by a wall. I had to stop for a couple months while I was unable to move around very easily. Through that, I was able to recover. I found so many people here that were willing to help. Friends, family, people I was able to hire even on a contract basis to help with everything. So I've kind of learned how to adapt and change my process to be a little bit more easy for me to do. We're continuing to grow, thankfully. That was probably the biggest hurdle because with adding help, costs go up. I had to do more shows suddenly out of nowhere and figure it all out. I'm happy to be where we are now. When it comes to my scents, I like to go pretty simple. Apple orchard just smells like a Macintosh apple. Banana bread, just like banana bread. They're not anything too out there. I started with the scents by coming up with something that I liked and asking people, what does this smell like to you? And I would get as close as I could to what they said after that. A lot of these didn't actually start the way they smell now. They started slightly different, and I would just tweak it until I got a whole bunch of feedback from people. Several of these are actually reminiscent of memories for me and for others, like Campfire Embers. I love a good campfire. Sometimes it's too cold to have a campfire outside, so I just like to smell it. And all the wicks crackle like a campfire. That's kind of how that all started. Apple orchard, apple picking. Who doesn't love apple picking in the fall? Things like that. Every scent has some kind of memory that either is evoked in me or someone who's a close friend of mine. Then I just go from there. And the whole way everything works is we start with various elements in the candle for the fragrance. Every single element is listed on the box that I use to mix and kind of combine to get to that scent. For my process, I take all the distinct elements that are in each one, I blend them together, I let them sit for a while, and then I test them through these little scent sticks that you can use to waft in the air. That's not 100% what they'll smell like in a candle, but it gives you kind of a sense of if it'll work. And then after that, I will melt down the soy wax. Since these are 100% soy, I don't have to mess with the temperatures too much like I do with the wax melts. They have beeswax in them. With the candles, you can melt it down, and at a very specific temperature, I then combine the fragrance oils after it's poured. And then you have to let it cool to a very specific temperature before you pour it. Every single candle, because of the different combinations of fragrance, has a different temperature that you pour it at, and a different percent of fragrance oil that you add when you go to each and every one has a different formulation. We all have it in spreadsheets so that everybody can know what to look at for everything. After it cools, I only fill these about 80% of the way the first time, and then I let it cool, and then I do another top layer of the exact same formulation after that. And what that does is it allows the middle part of the candle to warm up after it's appropriately cooled for half a day to a day and absorb into the top layer. And that's how you get that really nice smooth top. That's how you lock in the fragrance throughout the whole candle rather than it just sitting in the bottom or sitting in the top of the candle. A lot of the feedback I get from everyone is that they're so excited they can have a candle again, or they can have something with fragrance again, because for so long they haven't been able to because of migraines or health issues or any kind of reason really related to EMDRs or anything like that. A lot of people will say, I've had specific feedback actually from people where someone said it reminded them of their mother's cooking in their kitchen. Their mom had recently passed. They always will buy those specific scents for me to kind of have memories of their mother. It's brought a lot of comfort for them. I've had people who say they can't smell anything. They'll come in to the shop and they'll try the candles. I had someone today who even said they hadn't smelled anything other than chlorine since they were 13. My strawberry cheesecake candle they could smell. They were so ecstatic. I just love getting all these good stories. I hear all these wonderful experiences people have had in their lives, and I get to recreate it for them. It's really heartwarming. Those stories are what keep me going more than anything else, just knowing that it's made someone's day better. A little contribution that I do back to the Cleveland and Lakewood area. Every quarter we change who we contribute to. Right now it's MedWish MedWorks, and online sales, 10% of all the revenue we get from there goes to that organization. Last quarter it was to the California wildfire survivors, since they're trying to get their homes rebuilt. This quarter it's to the medical group. They have a wonderful organization where they give medical supplies and medical appointments with surgeons and doctors to people who cannot afford medical coverage. So they get everything free of charge and they're still able to stay healthy. Really passionate about that kind of stuff. Every quarter we change a different organization local to Cleveland or Lakewood area that could use some extra help. In the next 5 years, we're hoping to I would like to get more help, hire more people to help me make candles so that we can grow and expand. I'm already looking to possibly have a storefront in Lakewood. I would love to be Lakewood's first candle store. That would be great. I want to start expanding as well to make workshops where people can come in and they can make their own candles. They can combine different elements of fragrance oils, see what they'll smell like, do the whole process, design labels, everything. I think that would be a lot of fun, something interesting to do. We would like to be in boutiques. I'm already starting the process of that now. In 5 years, I can definitely see us growing and having products in several different storefronts, maybe having a second storefront in another city. I definitely love it here in Lakewood. I live here in Lakewood. I want to grow as much as I can in this community and help this community grow before I try to go anywhere else.